Thank you for joining me as we take a few minutes to reflect on some teaching from this last weekend. We just concluded a short little mini-series entitled Uncommon Sense. We've been looking at the biblical subject of wisdom. And this week we talked about the difference that wisdom makes. It is true with regard to wisdom that the choices you make determine the path that you take. You make wise choices, it's going to determine your path. You make foolish choices, that's going to determine the path that you take. But wisdom makes all the difference in the world. And the writer of Proverbs, in Proverbs chapter 1, personified wisdom as a woman crying desperately in the streets to get the attention of all who would listen. And so there was wisdom's cry, there's wisdom's warning, and there's wisdom's promise. And what a God we serve, who loves us enough to give us his wisdom. In Ephesians 5, Paul reminds us that since the days are evil, we need to live as wise men and women, not as unwise. And so while we listen for wisdom's cry, while we heed wisdom's warning, while we embrace wisdom's promise, we need to make sure we're putting wisdom into practice, that it takes that journey from our head to our heart. And that's where wisdom is applied, when we take the knowledge we have and we begin to live it out. And Paul tells us in Ephesians 5 of just a few areas where we can employ that wisdom. Are you being wise with your words? Are you being wise by giving thanksgiving? Are you being wise as you live in subjection to one another, not causing problems, not being a perpetual antagonist in this world? What are the attitudes that are in your heart? And he talks to us about making that right choice, which is to be controlled by the Spirit. Walk by the Spirit. And the writer of Proverbs promised that God would pour out his Spirit upon those who would say yes to wisdom. And so today, say yes to wisdom. Put it into practice in your life. Take what God has said, make it boots on the ground in your life, put it to work, and you'll discover that you will walk the path of wisdom. And that's exactly where God wants you walking in these days in which we are living.